on, everybody? I first and foremost would like to pay note to the fact that I know that I haven't been uploading anything for quite some time. This is due to kind of a lot that has happened in my life. I went through like a really hard breakup, and having to move back home, and just all kinds of shit that has just caused issues. It's caused me to not really be able to continue to do reviews and uploads regularly. With that being said, just want to bring into the fact that I want this channel to go into a different direction, if you will. Just the direction that I want this channel to go in, focusing on men's mental health. And to be completely honest, my mental health has just been in the shitter. There's just no way around it. Basically, like 5-6 months ago, whenever this breakup happened, I can't remember. I got pretty down, was getting like suicidal, but I eventually came out of it. Just being able to accept the fact that this relationship is over. It just is what it is, and I'm not going to let it get to me anymore. Well, now fast forward to current day, and I found a new relationship. Things are going not all that good, because I've struggled in my past with suicide. My first attempt was when I was 8 years old, and I remember trying to choke myself with like some stuffed toy, and it like obviously didn't fucking work because I'm still here. And then several attempts to like try and drown myself and shit like that. So suicide and just really piss poor mental health has been a part of my life since forever. And I wanted to bring this up. I want to make this commentary in just the absolute most brutal, honest way that I could be about it. The fact that men's mental health is not addressed in really any popular or highly viewed forums or sources or really anything of the sort. I know my channel really isn't all that big, but for those that do watch, I do appreciate it. And I'm just going to be basically just exposing some truths about what it is that I've been going through and what it feels like. And it's been getting pretty fucking dark. There's no way around it. And I don't mean that in like a punny way, because obviously you can't see me because I'm driving home at 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, I literally had to leave work early today because my mental health is just gotten so bad that like I can't even work. And it goes back like a couple weeks. So I've been dating this new girl for a couple weeks, for like a month and a half or so, and things were kind of up and down, iffy. I was kind of like, oh god, I don't know, like, this is the kind of person I really want to be with. And I'm still kind of feeling that way, because it feels like every single week I get this emotional fucking A-bomb, just atomic bomb dropped on me that I really don't have the ability to deal with as they keep happening. At first it was something small, and then it was something that got a little bigger, and then we broke into a fight like 2 weeks ago or whatever the fuck it was. And like, my emotional distress was so bad, I actually ended up putting myself into the hospital onto a 72-hour hold because I was so suicidal. I basically was going to like slit my own fucking throat. I was either going to slit my throat or try and crash my own car, whichever one seemed to be, the easiest. And so I spent about 3 days in the hospital or so, and I got out. I was feeling a lot better. They put me on a new med, and for the most part, this new med, it's been working, but it seems to be like whenever, I get just a new bombshell dropped on me, everything just goes out the fucking window. My body just floods with, different fucking chemicals, and like adrenaline, and my stomach just gets turned into fucking knots. And I know, there's probably plenty of people out there that are really just saying, was this relationship really worth it? And the truth be fucking told is that right now, I don't know. Like, I really want it to be, because I really care for this person. I love this person, and, I want to spend my life with them. But it gets harder and harder every single time something new kind of gets thrown into my lap that, you don't want to hear, you don't want to know, you don't want to find out that they've, been a total fucking dipshit, and there's no denying the fact that I've been a complete and total fucking dipshit. I've made horrible fucking mistakes in my past that I have to live with. But the thing is that I'm going to keep those, out of this relationship. I'm not going to bring them up or bring them into conversation because they don't fucking belong there. I think about my parents' relationship and like all the crazy shit that my dad had done and went through before he met my mom. How like my mom was just like, a good old Catholic woman, and people in today's day and age, it's like we're in a fucking arms race to try and, who can just do the most fucked up shit as quickly as possible. And truth be fucking told is you can't deny that. I know a lot of people think, oh, that's not really the case. It's just a small percentage. But it's getting worse and worse, and I think people really need to address that. So, so I was in the hospital a couple days, right? And I got out. Everything was going, okay, pretty well. And, fast forward to yesterday when, like, one of the biggest, bombs pretty much have been, like, these emotional, bombs have been dropped on me. And it's just like, how much can just someone continuously take emotional scarring and emotional just like, what the fuck, like, were you thinking, what the fuck is going on, like, and I do suffer from a lot of PTSD. I grew up with a pretty traumatic childhood. I was bullied and teased and all kinds of other fucked up shit that really doesn't bear repeating because it's not going to fix anything if I just continuously repeat all the fucked up shit that I went through. And and truth be fucking told is that, I know that I have a lot of, wounds in my psyche that basically will probably never heal. I've been doing therapy for a majority of my life, like ever since I was a little kid. I would go to therapy, had a bunch of fucking ADHD problems, speech therapy problems, and counseling problems because I was getting shit on all the fucking time by people, and it was horrible. And, I like to believe that I give off the presence of having the emotional depth of that of like a puddle. But the truth be fucking told is that it's a lot more like the depth of that of Mariana's Trench. Which, if you don't know, Mariana's Trench is basically like the deepest place on planet Earth. And I'm a very complex person with very complex emotions. And knowing and hearing things that happen to someone that you care about really fucked me up the wall to the point where, you know, I can barely function. I just shut down, and I don't have the ability to just take a step forward. You know, it's not my capability, no matter how much therapy I've done, or, you know, no matter how much, you know, people are always like, well, why don't you just talk about it? It's like, well, I know talking about it isn't going to fucking fix a goddamn thing, you know. And strangely, I find myself talking to everybody about it, and I'm not really getting better, you know. You know, and I know there's a lot of people that, you know, they always say, well, past is in the past. Yeah, well, there's a lot of things in the past that you can't forget. You know, the scars will always be there, you know. Take a look at things like slavery and the Holocaust and all kinds of other fucked up, horrible things that have happened in history. Now, I'm nowhere near comparing, you know, just finding out things in my girlfriend's past. I'm not trying to compare that to, like, you know, fucking Auschwitz or anything, because that's ridiculous. Obviously, you know, one of them was quite a bit more of a tragic tale than the other, and I think we can all figure out which one that is. But the truth be fucking told is that just because it's in the past doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. And, you know, there comes to a certain point where, you know, how much hurt can a person take from someone else? I mean, it's almost like being in an abusive relationship. I mean, there's a certain extent it is. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, she like hits me, she like calls me names and shit, which, you know, for the most part I let it slide. I try not to give a shit because I know that she's just trying to be playful. But truth be fucking told is that I can't stand it, and I hate it, and I've told her multiple times not to do it, but she still fucking does it. And so it kind of really begs the question, you know, that I'm going to keep coming back to is, you know, is this relationship worth it? You know, what's going to happen, you know, if I end this relationship? Am I going to be able to move on and, you know, eventually take time to let some of these wounds that I've carried for so long heal? Because the truth be told is that, like, from the ages of like 24 to 30, which is what I am now, like, I wasn't single. Like, I was constantly in a relationship, and by the time one relationship was coming to an end, I was already ready for the next relationship. And so I would kind of have like that backup plan ready to go before I would even, you know, end one relationship. I'd make sure I had kind of, you know, my next relationship lined up and ready to go, because being alone fucking sucks. And, you know, I have like 3 friends who are all like my bandmates, basically. They're the only people I talk to outside of like my family members, you know, because people are shitty, and I don't really care to, you know, just run around and just be like, I want to make friends with everybody, because I just don't give a shit about so many people out there. Because so many people are just fucking stupid, and they're just way too fucking opinionated, and it's like they don't know how to have a conversation without, like, their opinions of the dumbest shit, and it gets so fucking annoying. And, you know, so I keep my group of people that I, you know, interact with on a very small scale, because I know that outside of that, you know, small select group that I have, most people are just not someone that I care to associate with. You know, they have nothing to offer me anymore, because everything that could be offered has already been offered. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't need it. So, I truly deep down, I know and I understand that, like, past is the past. Nothing you can fucking do about it. Which, yes, I totally get that aspect. But it doesn't change the fact that, like, shit happened and that it's still real and the pain is still real associated with what it is that has happened. And I think a lot of people forget that fact, that it's okay to feel pain, that we are going to feel hurt. Especially, I like to think of it this way. The more you care about someone, when you get hurt by them, the worse it is going to feel, because the amount of care will be the equivalent of the amount of hurt. I know a lot of people think, well, that's kind of bullshit, don't let things get to you. But like I've said before, earlier in the video, I have the emotional depth of Mariana's Trench, and I just can't not let things get to me. I've always been a sensitive person. When shit goes fucking downhill, when I even think that I'm going to get, like, fucking my ass chewed out of work for some dumb fucking reason, like it always is, I brace for impact, because I don't want to deal with the criticism, because I truly don't feel like, I'm ever really going to be fucking good enough for anyone to ever do anything right, which, say what you want, but that's just what history continues to tell me. What I'm trying to get at is that there are things, that are happening that are causing some pretty severe emotional and, like, psychological distress and wounds to appear. And I think, like, if our psychological wounds were physical wounds, we'd all be walking around with fucking boils and cuts all over our arms, and all kinds of crazy different diseases, because we can't handle all the fucked up shit that goes on in our lives and that we figured out about people. And lately it just feels like I've been having my legs fucking broken and my arms getting fucking torn off, and I'm laying there helpless because I have no arms and no fucking legs, and I just have to sit there and suffer. And that's just kind of the way it's been feeling. Last night I was seriously debating on going right back into the hospital, because it was just so overwhelming and so overbearing that I couldn't, I just can't get a fucking grip on shit. I know there's a lot of people out there that can just, like, shit just doesn't bother them. They don't fucking care, but sadly, I'm not one of those people. A little thorn will cause a lot of fucking pain for someone like me. That's just the fucking truth of who I am as a person. And that's just kind of my mantra, but I'm not really sure what the word it is I'm looking for here. I think that as, a man, as a male counterpart in this, in a relationship, it's just supposed to be, just man up and deal with it. Just forget about it. Don't let it get to you. But the truth be fucking told is that it is getting to me, and it is becoming too much to handle and to bear. And, I've been, like, just straight suicidal for the last, like, fucking month. And, I've never been suicidal because of, like, a person, because of someone I was dating or been in a relationship with, unless, like, we broke up and, like, I had nowhere to go for a while, which has only really happened, like, twice. But I've genuinely never wanted to basically end my own life because of someone else while being with that person. And it is one of the worst feelings that I think anyone can really and truly really feel. I truly do believe that losing someone that you love is worse than your own death. But at the same fucking time, because the back of my head, I don't value my own life because of fucking everything that's happened, and how I just don't have the ability to appreciate anything. Life could be going great, and I'm still just going to be just this fucking miserable piece of shit sitting in the corner who just can't be grateful, for what good things I do have. I have a band, that, it's the longest I've ever been in a band, almost, and, it's, a wonderful feeling, knowing that I have that support, but at any given moment, one day that band can just be fucking over with, and that'll just be the end of it, and it really fucking sucks that I can't just appreciate shit in the moment. And I know it feels like I'm going off on a tangent. I'm doing this live. I don't have anything scripted. I've just had so much going on in my head and just in my life, and I don't know where to go anymore. I stopped uploading, I stopped doing vape reviews, mainly due to, the breakup and the fact that, buying new devices and constantly doing reviews and shit, that gets really expensive, and it was just having a detrimental impact on my finances, and I just couldn't really do it anymore. If you look at some of my other previous videos, dropping $1,000, $500 at a time, eventually really digs into your wallet, and I just couldn't keep doing it. And I suffer from PTSD from things from when I was a kid, from things that when I was a teenager to up to just a couple years ago. I was assaulted, and I ended up having to go to the hospital because my face was basically fucking jelly, and that caused a tremendous amount of pain with everything that revolved around it. Not so much physical pain, because quite frankly, I can handle physical pain, whatever, fuck it, but the emotional pain because of getting abandoned by my fucking at the time girlfriend. She just was like, well, I'm just gonna ditch you and go watch bands when you're in the fucking hospital. It was a horrible feeling that I have to live with, and just trying to just basically just trying to forget the fact that it was something that happened. I don't really have this lovely opportunity to indulge and embrace a lot of positive memories. I spend more time trying to forget negative memories than embracing positive memories, and that has such detrimental impact on my psyche and me as a person. I have chronic depression. I have horrible anxiety. I don't like picking up the phone. I don't even like picking up the phone to talk to my girlfriend. That's just how much I fucking hate talking on the phone. It is, in my definition, probably one of the most anxiety-causing things out there. And I think that the stuff doesn't get addressed properly by the proper people. I have a therapist and a psychiatrist who both work together to help me try and tackle these issues, but they're constantly there. They're always overbearing every single thing that I do. I can't help but go to the fucking grocery store and feel like everyone there is fucking judging me because I'm so fucking insecure because of all kinds of shit that that has happened. And over the course of my 30 years, I spent more time just trying to forget and trying to just ignore wounds than trying to let them heal. And I think that's what's causing such an overreaction. So many people can just be like, oh, it's whatever, I'm not going to let it get to me because it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, for me, it's like finding out, that anything happened causes me to want to, fucking hang myself or slit my own throat. That's not how people should be reacting to things. But yet it's how I react to almost everything, because I just can no longer fucking handle what is truly happening, not only in my life, but just in, the world around me, with all the lovely bullshit that COVID has caused in this world. I feel like suicide has no longer become a matter of if, but a matter of when. And also feeling like the feeling that you truly have nowhere to go to deal with it. I mean, there's only so many times you can go in to crisis and be put on, a hold. There's only so many times you can talk to your therapist about it, and I feel like I talk to her about it all the fucking time, and I'm not making any progress. I'm not getting better, and that's the scariest thing about all of it, is that when you no longer have the ability to get better, is that it? Like, is this what life is? It's just, the ratio for hurt to love is, it's not a 1-to-1 ratio, but it shouldn't be fucking 20-to-1 either. And that's just the truth of the matter. Who knows? Maybe one day I can look back and this will all just be just another horrible memory for me to just try and forget. Till then, peace out.